I died, choking on my own blood. The metallic tang flooding my mouth as bullets ripped through my chest like accusations I couldn't dodge. The last thing I saw was Marcus's face, my partner. My lover, twisted in that fake sorrow. His gun still smoking while he whispered, "It had to end this way, Haley." But it wasn't the end. It was the goddamn reset button on a life I thought I'd mastered, slamming me back into my body 3 years earlier. Heart pounding in a dingy motel room off I-90. The night before the raid that would unravel everything. The hook of it all hit me like vertigo. I was 28 again. Skin unscarred. No phantom aches from the accident that pinned the botched op on me. My hands, trembling now, gripped the motel sink, staring into the mirror at eyes that knew too much. Marcus was out there, already scheming with that viper of a DA. Elena Voss, bearing the real dirt on the Windy City cartel they'd both been feeding for years. I'd been their fall guy once. This time, I'd bury them first. But revenge? It tasted like the blood I remembered. Sharp and unforgiving. And I wondered if dragging them down would leave me any cleaner. That first breath back felt like stealing air from the grave. And I laughed, a jagged, ugly sound, because the universe had handed me a loaded clip and said, "Try not to miss." I had the files in my head. Every encrypted email. Every off-books payoff. Elena's outfit violates policy scandal was just the tip. A leaked memo from last year that got swept under the rug. But it was the thread I'd pull to unravel her empire. Marcus thought he was untouchable. The golden boy of the Chicago field office. Elena, with her Ivy League polish and connections to every crooked judge from here to Springfield, played the long game. Together, they'd framed me for leaking intel to the mob, turning a routine wiretap into a bloodbath that cost 6 agents their lives. My life. But not anymore. I splashed cold water on my face, the motel faucet groaning like it knew my secrets. Outside, the neon sign buzzed vacancy in red loops, mirroring the chaos in my veins. 3 years compressed into a nightmare montage. The raid on that South Side warehouse. Flashbangs popping like fireworks gone wrong. Cartel shooters who'd been tipped off swarming like roaches. I'd led the charge, trusting Marcus's intel, his anonymous source, that funneled straight back to Elena's slush fund. When the dust settled, bodies everywhere, the brass pinned it on me. Agent Haley Reed. Compromised operative. Court-martial. Stripped badge. Then the suicide in my apartment, 2 to the chest. Staged clean. Marcus held me as I bled out, his tears as phony as his vows. Now, here I was, pulse racing under the thin cotton of my tank top. The date on my burner phone confirming it. October 15th, 2022. 48 hours till the federal kickoff briefing, where assignments dropped like guillotines. Last time, I got the cartel lead bait. This time, I'd flip the script. But starting over meant playing small, building trust one didn't have, and swallowing the bile of seeing Marcus's smile without putting a bullet in it. Yet. I grabbed my laptop from the duffel, fingers flying over keys I'd long forgotten how to use without ghosts. The encrypted drive from my old life, somehow intact in this temporal glitch, was a goldmine. Voss's emails to Marcus, coded as policy reviews, greenlighting hits on witnesses. Outfit violates policy. That was her euphemism for the Chicago outfit's muscle enforcing her dirty deals. The next day, before the federal kickoff, the agent assignment shocked all, me, sidelined to desk duty, while Marcus got the glory. It was the first domino, the one that led to my grave. But tonight, I hacked my own access codes, child's play with future knowledge, and pulled the prelim files. Elena Voss, 52, Queen of the State Attorney's Office, with a penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan and a Rolodex of senators. Marcus Hale, 30, my ex-partner in every sense, with abs like a Marine ad and a conscience like wet tissue. They'd hooked up over case files, then hooked me. The secret they'd buried? Not just payoffs, but a body. Tommy Ruiz, a low-level snitch who'd stumbled on their game. Last time, they dumped him in the Calumet River, ruled drowning. I'd found the bruises in autopsy photos, but my report vanished. This time, I'd resurrect him. Sleep was a joke. I paced the threadbare carpet, plotting. Step 1. Infiltrate without tipping. Tomorrow's briefing. I'd volunteer for surveillance, eyes on boss's tail. Step 2. Leak just enough to Marcus to make him sweat. Plant out. But the controversial calls? They'd come hard. Do I burn innocents to smoke out the guilty? Frame a rival cop who'd die anyway? American justice was a machine that chewed whistleblowers. I'd have to grease it with lies. Dawn cracked gray over the skyline, horns blaring from the Dan Ryan like war cries. I suited up, crisp blouse, slacks that hid the ankle holster I'd never needed before, and drove my unmarked Ford to the Dirksen Federal Building. The lot was a zoo of sedans, agents nursing coffees that smelled like regret. Inside, the bullpen hummed, fluorescent buzz, keyboards clacking, the faint whiff of gun oil. Marcus was there, leaning on my desk, our desk, grinning that boyish grin. Morning. Sunshine. Rough night. My gut twisted. Memories flashing, his hands on me. Then the trigger. But I played it cool. Heart hammering. You have no idea. We bantered. Easy as old times. But I clocked the flicker, his eyes darting to my monitor, like he was already casing me. The briefing room filled. 20 agents. SAC Harlan at the podium, barking about the outfit's latest push into fentanyl pipelines. Assignments dropped. Marcus on point for the warehouse raid. Me? Reed. You're on wire analysis. Hale needs backup eyes. Last time, that backup was the trap. Shock rippled. Whispers of, why her? She's green. But I saw Elena in the gallery, perched like a hawk. Her nod to Harlan subtle as sin. The next day, before the federal kickoff, wait. This was it. The assignment that shocked all, sidelining the hotshot rookie for the vet. Me. It burned, but I nodded, filing it away. Yes, sir. Post-brief. Marcus cornered me in the hall, cologne sharp as his ambition. Desk jockey? That's bullshit. I'll talk to Harlan. His hand on my arm, electric, nauseating. I pulled back, feigning a chill. Nah, it's fine. Gives me time to dig. And dig I would. That afternoon, I hit the archives, pulling Ruiz's file. Drowning. My ass. Toxicology screamed overdose. But the ligature marks? Hidden in plain sight. Buried under accidental. By evening, I was tailing Voss. Her sleek Audi purred out of the garage, heading to Gold Coast. I followed at distance, weaving through yuppie traffic. Pulse steady now. She parked at Morton Steakhouse, the kind where deals got cut over ribeyes. Inside, schmoozing a judge, old Harlan's golf buddy. I snapped pics from the alley, infrared lens catching the envelope swap, cash for favors. It was small, but it snowballed. Nights blurred into a fever dream. I'd crash at the motel, replaying deaths, mine, Ruiz's, fueling the fire. Marcus pushed closer. Dinners that tasted like ash. His touch is a reminder of betrayal's intimacy. You're distant. Hails. What's eating you? I'd smile. Knife edge. Just the job. But I was building anonymous tips to IA. Whispers to beat cops about Voss's policy violations. The press nibbled, a blurb in the Tribune. DA's office under scrutiny for outfit ties. Controversy brewed. My first big call, plant evidence on a dirty sergeant, Kowalski, who'd tipped the cartel once. Innocent? Maybe. But he was collateral. A domino to topple Marcus's cover. I slipped the burner phone into his locker at 2 a.m., heart in throat. Alarms didn't blare, guilt did. Was this me? Or the grave talking? Weeks in, the raid loomed. Marcus prepped, oblivious, while I fed him half-truths, enough to steer him wrong without killing the team. Elena sensed the heat, her emails to him spiked. Double-check read. She's sniffing. Paranoia was my ally. Then, the twist seed, a late-night hack into Marcus's cloud. Not just payoffs, photos. Me and him, tangled in sheets. Time-stamped post-Ruiz. He'd used our affair to discredit me. Paint me jealous. Unstable. The bastard. I confronted him, not with fists, but facts. Over whiskey in his loft. Skyline glittering like fool's gold. Tommy Ruiz. You and Voss drowned him. Didn't you? His face drained, then hardened. What the hell? Haley, you're cracking. Denial. Then the pivot. It was mercy. He was gonna flip. Take us all down. Us. Like I was in it. Rage boiled. But I played broken. Why me? Tears, real ones. He bought it. Pulled me close. To protect you. Always. Lies. But it cracked him open. Confession spilled. Voss's empire. Senators in pocket. The outfit as her personal ATM. The raid? Bait to eliminate rivals. Frame me for the leak. I recorded it all. Hidden mic whirring. Dawn broke. He slept. Spent. I slipped out. Evidence burning a hole in my pocket. The night before the raid, I went rogue. Dropped the tape to a Storytime stringer, off record. But viral. By morning, headlines screamed, FBI insider alleges DA corruption. Chaos erupted. Voss's office swarmed by feds, not ours. Harlan suspended Marcus pending review. Elena called an emergency presser. Her poise cracking on live TV. Baseless smears from a disgruntled agent. Me? I was the ghost now. Holed up in a safe house off Lakeshore Drive. Piecing the final play. But controversy peaked. The public bayed for blood. Protests outside City Hall chanting, "Justice for Ruiz." A name I'd leaked. Innocents caught crossfire. A junior prosecutor. Voss's niece. Doxed and harassed. My doing? Indirectly. Sleepless. I stared at the ceiling. The weight of borrowed time crushing. Was vengeance justice? Or just trading graves? High tide hit on raid night. Warehouse loomed. Sodium lights buzzing over rusted docks. I shouldn't have been there, suspended. Remember? But I crashed the perimeter. Tack vest tight. Glock heavy. Marcus led the breach. Eyes wild when he spotted me. Haley, get out. Voss waited in the wings. Her consultant roll a joke. barking orders via radio. Inside. It exploded. No tip-off this time. My sabotage clean. Cartel goons dropped like sacks. But Voss's wild card emerged, hired muscle. Outfit enforcers she'd double-crossed. Gunfire stitched the air. Ricochets whining. I flanked Marcus, covering him as he fumbled reload. You set, he gasped. Lies died hard. Always. Then. The twist. Elena. Cornered in the office. Ruiz's ghost in file cabinets, ledgers proving everything. But she wasn't alone. Harlan, the SAC, stepped from shadows. Badge glinting. Stand down. Read. My gut dropped. Harlan, her lover. The mole. The assignment shock? His doing. Outfit violates policy was code for their pact. Burying scandals since 18. Betrayal doubled. Tripled. Marcus spun. Gun up. Boss. Harlan's shot cracked first, Marcus crumpling. Red blooming. Elena laughed. Cold as Lake Michigan. Loose ends. Darling. She turned on me, but I was faster, to center mass. Her eyes widening in that final surprise. Harlan lunged. I sidestepped, cuffing him as sirens wailed closer. Epilogue hung in the smoke. Marcus clung to life in ambulance lights, whispering, "Forgive." I didn't. Trial came swift. Harlan flipped for immunity, spilling Voss's web. Senators tumbled. Outfit crippled. Me? Cleared. Badge back. But the mirror showed scars, no bullet left. The choices. The bodies. Vengeance tasted like ash. But freedom? Sweeter. I walked out of that courtroom, rain washing the steps, knowing I'd cheat death twice. Some ghosts stay buried. Others rise to haunt. The fallout from the raid painted Chicago in shades of scandal. Tabloids feasting on the carcass of Elena Voss's empire like vultures on roadkill. I sat in a dive bar off Wabash, nursing a Jameson that burned less than the memories, watching the TV flicker with my face, Agent Haley Reed, the whistleblower who cracked the DA's cartel. Reporters called it the shot heard, round the loop, but I knew better. It was the echo of my second chance, reverberating through a city that thrived on corruption like it was deep dish pie. Marcus survived, vegetative in Northwestern Memorial, tubes snaking like accusations. I'd visited once, his hand limp in mine, monitors beeping a dirge. You were always the strong one, I'd murmured, but strength felt hollow now. The twist with Harlan? It gutted me deeper than the bullets ever did. He'd mentored me fresh out of Quantico. That gruff pat on the back, sealing deals over bad coffee. Turns out, it was grooming for the grave. Boss had him hooked years back. A gambling debt washed in blood money. Outfit violates policy started as his memo. A warning he'd twisted into complicity. Back in the grind. The field office was a minefield of side eyes and sealed lips. SAC duties shifted to a suit from D.C. Ramirez. All efficiency and no soul. My desk piled with commendations, Medal of Valor. The works, but they weighed like chains. You're a hero. Reed, he said in debrief, clapping my shoulder. Hero? I'd planted that phone on Kowalski. Watched him get bounced from the force. Family fracturing. He wasn't clean, but he wasn't Voss. Controversy clung like humidity. Op-eds in the Trib roasted me as vigilante fed, protests splintering into Free Kowalski, rallies outside the Dirksen. I pushed it down, focusing on the rebuild. New leads on outfit remnants, fentanyl labs in Pilsen, ghost guns flooding from Indiana. But nights, that's when the rebirth clawed back. I jolt awake in my new crash pad, a walk-up in Wicker Park. Exposed brick hiding the safe I'd bolted to the floor, sweating visions of Voss's last gasp. Harlan's plea for mercy as cuffs clicked.
Mercy.
The word soured. I denied Marcus. Why spare them? First ripple hit a month post-raid. Anonymous package at the office. No return.
Inside.
A flash drive, photos of me tailing Voss. Timestamps from that steakhouse night. Stalker? Or ghost?
Iran forensics. Brins nil.
But metadata pinged a burner in Voss's orbit. Her niece. Lila, the junior prosecutor I'd indirectly torched. Doxed. Run out of law school interviews. Now she was circling. I met her in a coffee shop off Michigan Avenue. Steam rising like tempers. You're the reason my life's hell, she spat. Eyes puffy but sharp. Clutching a latte like a shield. 24. All fire and ivy gloss. Voss's spitting image minus the venom. I slid into the booth. Voice low. Your aunt buried bodies. I dug him up. She shoved the drive across. She wasn't all monster. Dad, you're Harlan, he ruined us first. Twist upon twist, Harlan wasn't just Voss's puppet. He'd seduced her young. Leveraged the affair for control. Lila's childhood? Shattered by their games. I have proof. Emails. But if I go public, it drags you too. Your anonymous tips weren't so anon. My stomach nodded. She'd hacked back, mirroring my plays. Controversy's child. What do you want? She leaned in, breath minty over bitterness.
A deal.
I testify against the remnants. You clear my name. And Kowalski? Fix it. Fix it. The sergeant I'd framed, now suing the Bureau for defamation. His wife leaving. Kids in therapy. My call? Again. I nodded. Throat dry. Done. That night, I pulled strings Ramirez owed me and quashed Kowalski's beef with a quiet settlement. He got his pension. I got the guilt scrubbed. Lila delivered. Voss's private server. Ledgers tying senators to safe houses. Boom, indictments rained.
D.C. Quaking.
But Lila's eyes haunted, innocence weaponized. A mirror to my own gray. Marcus woke on a crisp November morn. Tubes yanked. Voice a rasp. Hospital called me first, protocol. Or pity. I went. Badge clipped like armor. He looked wrecked. Stubble silvering. Eyes hollow. Haley. It was her.
Voss.
Harlan pulled me in. Said it was the only way up. Lies? Or delusion? Brain scans said trauma. But his grip tightened. I loved you. Swear.
Loved.
Past tense knifed. I traced his knuckles, the ones that pulled the trigger in my other life. Prove it. Testify. He did. Haltingly. From a wheelchair in federal court. Outfit violates policy. He decoded it live. Memos morphing to murder plots. Gallery gasped, press erupted. But the controversial bite? Marcus fingered innocence too. Beat cops on Voss's peril. Now facing ruin. I sat stone-faced. His gaze pleading. Forgiveness? Not yet. Maybe never. Winter clamped Chicago in ice. Lake effect snow burying sins. I dove into remnants. A Pilsen stash house. Whispers of Voss's ghost leading a splinter crew. Intel pointed to an old outfit enforcer, Gino the Blade Moretti, who'd done her wet work.
My up, solo infill.
Mic'd up, baiting with Ruiz's name. Risky? Hell yes. Ramirez nixed it. You're burned. Read. But I went dark, slipping into a taqueria meet under cover of dusk. Gino was a relic. 70, but carved from granite, nursing espresso in a booth scarred by knives. I slid in, hoodie low.
Ruiz sends regards.
His laugh barked, eyes narrowing. Dead man's chit. Boss's girl.
Ha.
She owed me.
Owed. Past.
He spilled over Sambuca, her betrayal, stiffing him on a hit, framing his crew for Ruiz. Wanted it all. Senators. Feds. The lake. I pressed. Harlan. Gino's scar twisted.
Her dog.
Bagged him years back. You're the one who bagged her. Word traveled. By dawn, my tail was hot, outfit shadows in my mirrors. I ditched the Civic in an alley, hoofing to a stop, pulse thundering. Controversy peaked. Leaked body cam from the raid showed my shots on Voss, clean, but questions swirled. Was it self-defense? Or execution? Pundits on Fox bade rogue agent. CNN spun hero's burden. Protests reignited. My face on signs. Justice or vendetta? Lila called then. Voice cracking. They're coming for you. Moretti's crew. Voss's contingency. How'd she know? Her hack lingered. I guessed.
Hide.
I'll handle. But handling meant calling in Kowalski, irony's bite. The ex-sergeant met me in a shuttered steel mill off the Calsag. Ghosts of industry looming. You screwed me.
Read.
But family first. He had contacts. Old outfit snitches. We planned. Flush Gino. Flip him. The sting went south fast. Canal Street warehouse. Fog rolling off the water, like breath. Kowalski's tip let us and me.
Him.
2 undercovers. Gino waited. Not alone for goons. ARs slung casual. Voss's debt collector, he grinned. Blade flipping. Shots cracked. Chaos. I dropped one. Kowalski winged another. But Gino's knife grazed my side. Fire lancing. We cuffed him in the melee. But cost an undercover down. Gut shot. Hospital again, stitches. Morphine haze. Ramirez stormed in. Face thunder. Suspended.
Read.
Again. But eyes said respect. Gino flipped under lights. Singing like Sinatra. Voss's offshore accounts. Harlan's love letters coded as policy. Twist deepened. Marcus. Pre-coma. Had skimmed too, his love a cover for greed. Lila confirmed, her voice soft over phone. He played you both. Spring thawed the city. Trials blooming like crocuses in concrete. Harlan pled out. Life for Ruiz. Voss's assets seized. Charities she donated to exposed as fronts.
Me?
Back on street. But changed. Rebirth's price. Marcus testified full. Voice gaining steel. But his eyes begged absolution. Court break. He cornered me in hall. I was weak. You're not. Touch, fingertips on wrist. I pulled away. Weakness kills. Don't test mine. Controversy lingered. Kowalski's redemption arc in the press. My framing unnecessary gray per IA report. Public split. Heroes on podcasts hailed me. Victims' families picketed. Ruiz is widow spitting. You profited off his death.
Did I?
Badge felt heavier, but the grave lighter. Summer heat wave hit. Humidity thick as unresolved sins. New case. Outfits pharma push. Labs in abandoned factories. I led. Ramirez greenlighting. But ghosts whispered. Lila. Now interning under me. Her hack's a double edge. Aunt Elena said you were fire, she murmured one stakeout. Binoculars fogging. Burned us all. Fire. Yeah. Then. The call. Marcus. Discharged. Requesting meet. Neutral ground, Navy Pier. Tourists milling like distractions. He walked slow. Cane tapping. Summer dress on a breeze. I'm clean. Haley. Therapy. Amends.
Amends.
The word hung. Why?
He met my eyes. No flinch.
Because second chances aren't free. Mine wasn't. But as Ferris wheel light spun, I saw it. Not vengeance's end, but life's restart. I nodded.
Tentative.
Prove it. Again. Autumn leaves turned the loop into a postcard of decay, mirroring the slow rot of my resolve as the outfit trials dragged into fall. Courtrooms became my coliseum, testifying under fluorescent glare. Harlan's ghost in the defendant's box, pallid, broken, spilling vases, sins like a confessional drunk. She made me, he'd rasp, but I knew the lie. Men like him built their cages. Key in pocket. My rebirth had armed me with truth, but wielding it, that carved doubts deeper than any blade. Lila shadowed my steps now. Her internship a bureau favor, mine, pulled with strings I'd rather not count. Sharp as her aunt, but unscarred by power's lure. She pored over files in the bullpen. Coffee runs masking questions. You ever regret it? The raid. We'd stake out a remnant safe house in Humboldt Park. Her beside me in the unmarked. City hum a lullaby. Regret? It was the shadow to my light. Every shot. But in action? That's the real killer. Marcus orbited cautious. Amends in gestures. Case notes emailed. Dinners dodged with rain checks. His cane gone. Stride reclaiming swagger. But eyes carried the coma, haunted, seeking. We'd cross paths in halls, nods evolving to words. Heard you nailed that Pilsen bust, he'd say.
Genuine.
Idegrun. Team effort. Team. The word chafed. Memories of his trigger finger vivid. Yet, in quiet, I wondered, could betrayal scar heal? Or just scab? Controversy refused to fade. A podcaster. Windy City Whistle. Dropped an EP. Reborn or Rogue. Haley Reid's Secret War. They'd piece my motel nights. The hacks. Lila's leak. It viralized. Agent Reborn trending. Memes of me as Phoenix or Witch. Protests swelled. Victims outside the courthouse. Signs reads revenge equals our ruin. Ruiz's kin leading chants. Kowalski. Oddly. Defended in a Trib op-ed. She saved more than she broke. Public aided. Polls split 50-50. Hero or hazard. New heat built. Outfit splinter. The next day crew. Named for Voss's leaked memo timing. The day after her policy violation briefings. Hits dropped. Led by a ghost. Dante Ruiz. Tommy's brother. Radicalized in the shadows. Intel pegged him in Bridgeport, funneling ghost guns via Gary ports. My op. Deep cover. Posing as burned Fed selling intel. Ramirez balked. Too personal, but I pushed. Lila volunteering wire support. Infill started smooth. Dingy bar off Halstead. Smoke thick as lies. Dante was wiry. Tattoos snaking like outfit heraldry. Eyes Ruiz sharp. Heard you iced Voss. I nursed a bud.
Cool.
Earned it. He probed. Testing. Cartel ties. My frame story. I fed half-truths Marcus's skim. Harlan's fall. Watching him bite. She owed Tommy. Blood for blood.
Blood.
Echoed my grave. By night's end. Handoff. USB with port manifests. My mic catching his slip. Next kickoff. Feds go down. Ex-Phil went tits up. Tails spotted. Dante's paranoia. Or leak. Tires screeched on 94. My Civic fishtailing as black SUVs boxed. Gunfire ping mirrors. I swerved into breakdown lane. Glock barking back. One pursuer spun out, but the other rammed, world tumbling in shards. I crawled from wreck, ribs screaming, dialing Lila. Extract.
Now.
She pulled up in a stolen beater. Face ashen.
Jesus.
Haley. We ditched an industrial sprawl. Sirens wailing distant. Safe house. Abandoned row home in back of yards. Lights low. Adrenaline crashing. You got it. I nodded. Drive clutched. Dante's manifest. Federal kickoff next week.
DC.
Brass inbound for outfit postmortem. Their play. Bomb the Dirksen Gala. Frame remnants on policy violators. Me. Twist uncoiled slow. Lila's hand shook pouring whiskey.
I tipped him.
Not to kill, to expose. Her eyes welled. Voss's files. You think I gave him clean? Redacted my part. I fed Dante scraps. Thinking it'd burn you out. Burn me out. The niece's revenge. Subtle as poison. I froze. Glass midway.
Why?
She crumpled. You took everything.
Aunt.
Future. Name. Everything. My choices echo. Rage flared. But rebirth tempered. She'd lost more. Voss's shadow long. Fix it, I said. Voice steel. Or join Harlan. She nodded. Hacking frantic, Dante cells. Tracing the bomb. By dawn. We had cords. Gary warehouse. C4 cooking. Marcus called then. Voice urgent. Saw the crash cams. You okay? How'd he know? His network lingered. Peachy. Stay out. But he pushed. I'm in. For real. Against judgment. I looped him, amends tested. Trio now, me lead. Lila tech. Marcus muscle. Controversial? Understatement. Ex-partner. Traitor's kin. Recipe for implosion. Gary run was grit. Dawn fog over dunes. Rusted silos looming. We breached quiet. Marcus on point. Limp gone. Lila in van. Jamming signals.
Inside.
Dante's crew. 5. Wired vests half-strapped. My whisper. Feds.
Dropping.
Chaos shots.
Shouts.
I took point. Dropping 2. Marcus winged Dante. Cuffing as he spat. Voss's whore.
Whore.
Stung. But I press knee to throat. Your brother's ghost says otherwise. Bomb squad rolled in. Defusing with minutes spare. Lila's hack sealed. Cells to feds. Manifest to press. Kickoff gala went clean. Brass toasting, victory over corruption. But backlash hit. Dante's lawyer cried entrapment. My cover op leaked. Reborn rogue spiked. Protests turned ugly. Bricks through my precinct window. Winter's chill deepened fractures. Marcus cornered me post-debrief. Eyes fierce. We're good.
Hails. Admit it.
His hand cupped my cheek, familiar fire. I leaned, then shoved. Good? You pulled the trigger in my head. Slipped too much. His face fell. What? Rebirth's dam cracked. I spilled fragments. Not all, but enough. Coma dreams? He bought, pulling me close. Whatever hell. I'm here. Lies or light. Time would tell.
Lila faded post up.
Internship reassigned. Her note. Fire tempers.
Saw the
Gone to DC. Clerking clean. Kowalski? Promoted. Quiet thanks over beers. But Ruiz's widow confronted in Market Aisle. Cart rattling. You gave him justice. But at what cost?
Cost.
Sleepless tally, lives spent. Trust shattered. Spring 2023 bloomed bloody. Final outfit trials. Harlan's suicide in cell. Note blaming Voss.
Me.
Guilt gnawed. My shots echoed. Marcus pushed therapy. Joint sessions in neutral office. Unpacking betrayals bones. I chose wrong, he admitted. Tears real. Choose right now. I did.
Tentative dîner.
Touches thawing. Controversy crested summer. Congressional hearing. Me grilled on vigilante tactics. Cameras flashed. Senators posturing. Agent Reed. Did personal vendetta compromise due process?
I stare down.
Voice steady. Vendetta? I saved lives. Yours included. Gasps. Applause, split screen. By fall. Quiet settled. Outfit crippled. Streets safer. Marcus and I, rebuilding. Scars mapping trust. Rebirth's gift, not just vengeance, but vision. Chicago breathed easier, I did too. The second anniversary of my death, that phantom echo from the life unlived, dawned crisp in October 2024. 2 years post-rebirth. With Lake Michigan slapping the seawall like unresolved debts. Chicago had healed skin deep, outfit trials wrapped in plea deals. Senators slinking to shadows. The Dirksen a fortress of fresh polish. But me, Agent Haley Reed, poster child for redemption arcs, carried the weight in whispers and what-ifs, the controversial stain of my choices etched like tattoos under bureau blues. Marcus and I navigated the minefield of us with cautious steps. His apartment in Lincoln Park, a neutral zone, exposed beams. Bookshelves crammed with case law dog-eared from his rehab phase. Nights blurred into mornings tangled in sheets. His touch a balm and brand. You're my anchor, he'd murmur, tracing the scar from Gino's blade. Anchor? Felt more like chain, pulling me from the deep where old Haley drowned. We'd talk, therapy speak over takeout, boundaries, triggers, but undercurrents pulled, his gaze lingering on my holster. My flinch at sudden knocks. Work grounded. Ramirez bumped me to squad lead. Pilsen task force targeting fentanyl ghosts. Lila checked in sporadic, DC. Emails. Clerking for a Fed judge. Her, sorry, evolving to thanks. Kowalski mentored rookies. Our beer's ritual. Toasting gray areas with a wry grin. Ruiz's widow? Thawed slow, a memorial plaque in the bullpen. Her nod in halls speaking volumes. But controversy's embers flared autumnal. Windy City Whistle, Pod Drop sequel, Reborn's Reckoning, Reed's hidden hacks. They'd unearthed my motel logs. Anonymous tips traced to my burners. Subpoena hit like frost, Congressional oversight. Round 2. Chairs demanding full disclosure on vigilante ops. Press swarmed my stoop. Mics thrusting. Agent Reed. Was the Voss hit personal? Personal. The grave laughed. Prep was war room. Marcus pacing my living room. Scripts in hand. Stick to facts.
No emotion.
Easy for him, his testimony gold star. The reformed traitor, narrative selling books ghostwritten. But hush. I paced too. Ghosts crowding, Voss's eyes. Harlan's note. Lila called. Voice tight. It's Dante's crew leaking. Payback. Dante. Rotting in Supermax. But his tendrils lingered, family. Fanboys. Hearing day, Capitol Hill. Marble cold as judgment. Committee loomed, grandstanders in suits. Cameras rolling. I testified crisp. Ops declassified. Hacks proactive intel. But Senator Hale, no relation. Irony's jab, probed deep. MS. Reed. Your rebirth, colloquial for survival instinct, led to framing innocence. Kowalski. 4-1. Kowalski. Prepped. Testified after. Saved my ass from real dirt. Laughter rippled. Tension cracked. Twist dropped mid-session. Leaked audio. My voice from the raid. Bitch had it coming. Voss's final moments. Gallery hushed. Hale pounced. Vindictive. Agent. Heart hammered. Rebirth's secret spilling. Marcus. In gallery. Eyes locked. Support or strain. I lean mic. Voice steel. Vindictive? She killed 6. Including me. In spirit. Gasps, gavel banged. Off-record frenzy post. Whispers of perjury probes. Metal strips. Fallout scorched. Suspension pending review. Headlines reborn rogue returns. Protests reignited. Cancel Reed trending. Effigies burned in Grant Park. Marcus pulled strings. His Hill contacts clean now lobbying. Fight it, he urged over wine. City lights mocking. But doubt crept. Was this the universe's pullback? Rebirth revoked? Sleepless. I drove the lakefront. Wind whipping.
Replaying debts, mine.
Others. Lila surfaced unannounced. Train ticket stubbed. Crashing my couch. I started it. The pod leak. Thought it'd force truth.
Truth.
Her eyes. Voss's echo.
Pleaded.
But you're clean. Let me fix.
Fix.
We hacked back. Her DC. Access. My old codes, tracing to a pod producer. Dante's cousin bankrolling. Bust. Quiet arrest. Evidence planted clean this time.
No frams.
Winter solstice brought review board. Ramirez presiding. Faces stern. Testimony piled. Kowalski vouching. Marcus's affidavit. Haley saved the city. My words, raw. Unscripted. I died once. Metaphorically. Came back to make it right.
Messy? Yes.
Worth it? Every scar. Verdict, reprimand. Demotion dodged. Cheers muffled. Relief tentative. Spring 2025 green the parks. Trials dust settling. Outfit? Fractured relic. Feds picking bones. Me and Marcus? Solidifying. Ring talk whispered. His knee healed. My flinches fading. One night. Pier walk. Ferris wheel glowing. He knelt. Second chance. Hails. Marry me. Tears real, pricked. Third time's charm. Controversy. Faded to footnotes.
Podsud to silence.
Public memory short as Chicago Winters. Ruiz's widow invited us to memorial, Tommy Stone. Lakeview. You gave peace, she said. Hand squeeze.
Peace.
Elusive, but glimpsed. By summer's heat, I led clean, task force wrapping a lab bust.
No ghosts.
Lila visited. Suit sharp. Toasting family. Fucked as it is. Marcus? Partner in life. Badge optional. Rebirth's arc closed not in blaze. But ember, vengeance sated. Life reclaimed. Chicago pulsed on. Flawed heart beating.
Me?
Beating too scarred. But standing. The grave stayed shut. I walked free. Epilogue. October 2025. 3 years post-reset. Wedding small bullpen crew. Lake breeze. Vows exchanged. Marcus's grin true. To us, he toasted.
Us.
No more ghosts. But in quiet moments, mirror gaze, eyes knowing, fire banked.
Second chance?
Borrowed time. I'd spend it fierce.